I've been writing for a long time. And writing a book, that's hard. But it gets easier. The more you do it, the more you practice, the more you keep fighting, even if it's just for one person. Even if that one person is you. It gets easier. This is not a hair tutorial, by the way. No. This is a story of how I wrote a book, my debut novel, in just 20 days. And it all started here. It all started with doing my hair and listening to music, as one does while they are doing their hair. And the song started to play. The kind of song that just makes everything stop. The kind of song that just sends images running through your mind. I didn't know this song at all. I was just letting music play, having Amazon suggest music to me as it does so well. And when this song played, everything just stopped. In my head, I can picture these two boys running. I couldn't tell whether they were chasing something or running from something. But they were best friends. And there was nothing stopping them. As the song continued, more and more images just kept coming to my mind. The story started to form right before my eyes, but then the song was over. And it was time for the next song. I thought to myself that, hey, I should probably write this down somewhere. Remember the song for later, for a time when I was ready to write this story, because this story had to be written. But I went on doing my hair. And I didn't even look at my phone to check and see what the name of the song was, who the artist was, or anything. So the song was forgotten. At least in my head it was forgotten. But it never really left. Not really. But I forgot the song. And it kind of just disappeared. I wasn't really thinking about the song or writing at all at the time. It was a holiday break. So I was focused on just that. A break. Until after New Year's. On January 2nd of 2023. I woke up at 4 in the morning with only one question in mind. What was the name of that song? I had to know. I couldn't fall back to sleep. Trust me. I tried. But the question kept ringing in the back of my mind because I knew there was something there. There was a story there if only I could hear the song just once more. I'd have it. But I had no clue what that song was. And thus, the 4 a.m. internet search began. I had no idea what I was searching for. I did not remember a single word, a note. I was going strictly based off of a feeling. I remembered a bit of the story being told. So I took to Google and started throwing everything that I had into the search bar. I'm pretty sure I made those computers work so hard that Google may have considered quitting its day job. I just typed in boys running, police, song with police sirens, song about boys running. I didn't have much to go off of. And yet, at some point, the song became. I found it. And it was Blue Lights by Georgia Smith. And surely, with the song now found, surely now, I can get some rest. Correct? Incorrect. No. I managed to toss around in my bed for maybe another hour before I was up and out of bed because ideas wouldn't stop. They just couldn't stop. So, I charged on. I grabbed a fresh journal and a pen, found myself a place on the couch, and started to write the outline for what will become my debut novel. And I didn't leave that couch. Not at all. The first day, I wrote until I couldn't write anymore. Fingers cramped, fought through those. I wrote until my eyes were heavy and only gibberish was coming from my fingertips. So I went to sleep, and the next morning, I picked up that journal and a new pen since I had ran the old pen dry, and I started to write again. On day 2, the outline was complete. From idea to outline. A complete story. And surely I thought that maybe this is the time I'd give it a rest, take a break, pull back some, before I continue forward to start writing the actual tale. My break lasted maybe through lunch. And then I grabbed my laptop and I started writing. And I didn't stop. Because I didn't have to stop. You see, I had this addictive idea. This story that felt so important that it had to be told regardless of my personal needs as a human being. I had trouble eating, sleeping, taking care of personal needs because anything that took my hands away from the keys was becoming a problem. The story needed to be written. And I didn't stop writing until I had to. Because day after day, morning, noon, and night, after I spent writing this story, my time was coming to a close. You see, since I was in the 9th grade, I have constantly kept busy. Between sports, clubs, school, and jobs, I've always had something to do all year long. And this, throughout my 3rd year of teaching, that was the first time that I did not work a second job, meaning that that was my first actual break in over 10 years. I had uninterrupted time, and I used it to create. But of course, that time had to come to a close. School came back, and of course, that time had to come to a close. Sort of. School did come back. Us teachers went in for a teacher work day the day before the students came in. And we got through the teacher work day. I went home and I got to snow day. Then another, and another, and another. I had an extra week, and I used it. More writing got done. Of course, I came back to my couch in my PJs and I kept writing. Why would I stop? I had this now. This story was going to be told, and it was going to be told by me. No one else could tell the story how I could. You see, as I wrote, blue light started to become more and more important. To show this representation of people, of these black boys who were fighting for joy. These black boys who were running towards joy instead of just running away from pain. Every character felt important. Every part of the story felt like it could resonate with someone. So it had to be written. And in just 20 days, that first draft was done. I had never written a book so quickly. So surely that meant that it had to suck. So I sent it off to my cousin, who was an avid reader and had been cheering me on throughout the entire process. And I started my first read through. And to my surprise, it didn't suck. It was actually quite good. And I wasn't the only one who thought that. My cousin got back to me in 5 days with a newly found love for the story, the voice, the writing, and the characters. So much so that he, in his notes, was asking for more of a particular character, Willie. He didn't give me many notes. He loved the story. So I went back, edited it in using his notes, and thus began my journey into the Query churches. But that is another story for another video. I made something that means something to people. All kinds of people. And I just want more people to be able to see it, to give it a chance, to be able to appreciate it. That's why I'm pretty much giving it away. At least the first 7 chapters of it. Until February 2nd, the first 7 chapters of Blue Lights will be available on my newsletter, including a bonus chapter from the point of view of another character in the story. These 7 chapters, these 7 chapters are enough to bring you into the story and to get you tied in, so that way you know what is going on, who these characters are, and you can start to see why they mean so much to so many people. So, consider subscribing to the newsletter, or check the book out for yourself on Amazon. It's there. You can click it anytime, because the second book is coming soon, March 2nd, which is actually the birthday of one of my characters. But March 2nd will be the date that Black Lights is going to be released. And I can't wait. Because although Blue Lights may not have many fans, the fans that it does have care deeply about it. The fans that it does have cares deeply about it. And cares deeply about the characters inside the story. So, check it out. And remember to always listen to your inner monologue, because it might steer you into something wonderful.
Alexa, Echo, play Blue Lights by Georgia Smith.
Blue Lights by Georgia Smith on Amazon Music.